of the world I thought was true. It's nothing but illusion. So now I'm a liar, I'm a loser, I'm a bastard and abuser, and I'm wondering how much lower can I go. I've been beaten, I've been bloodied, I've been broken and betrayed. Wondering how much lower can I go. Even though I know it's wrong, I wish my pain upon the world. I curse the lives of lucky men. Into this hell I hope they're hurled. I was once a good man. Now I'm living in this hell. 'Cause I'm a liar, I'm a boozer, I'm a bastard and abuser, and I'm wondering how much lower can I go. I've been beaten, I've been bloodied, I've been broken and betrayed, and I'm wondering how much lower can I go. So I'm wondering how much lower can I go.
Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. If you want the truth, don't close your eyes. We got our back against the wall, we gotta fight back. I need a theme song, this the right track. I ain't got no cape or no superpowers, just confidence and self-esteem, the world is ours. I believed in me when nobody didn't. This ain't no freestyle, just some facts that's written. Come on, let's hear it for the boy. He bringing pain at the same time, joy. I bob and weave through the crowd, so untouchable. Yeah. At first they hate, then they loving you. Suckers. It's a crazy cycle, but I'm going through it. I wish I was lying, that's why I show and prove it. I'm destined to be one of the best to do it. I ain't saying I'm the GOAT, but I'm closer to it. I should get a statue in the front yard. Man, I'm shooting up my stats like a shooting guard. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. If you want the truth, don't close your eyes. I'll give it to you in 3D or even play by play. I'm your guest announcer, are you here today? Yo, let me get a show of hands if you rockin' with me. Ain't no stopping us now, we bout to bounce quickly. I'm about to start a movement, put your fist up. Everything all black from the wrist up, yeah. Leather gloves, no prints, what? We about to dip, deep cut, yeah. Now bring it back like a boomerang. Who that man, do that thing, coming through like Buddha Bang. Setting booby traps for girls and goofy cats. Hog tied and handcuffed through in the back. Zip locked and sealed up and tossed away. I don't know about your future, but it's bad today. I'm a prophet and a guru and the rap police. You in the belly of the beats, masterpiece. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. If you want the truth, don't close your eyes.
Yo! Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on, guys? Happy Tuesday. Another day of nothing, huh? We didn't really see anything. Franklin, what's going on? No. Maybe I can adopt you, Franklin. If you want to be adopted, let me know. You look like a cute little duck. Your picture looks like a cute little duck. What's going on, Franco? Night Owl is so garbage. I thought we liked Night Owl, Franco. What happened? We don't like Night Owl anymore? What's going on? John B said, probably a bad idea to watch this while I'm working. I'll be PG today. I'll try my best to be PG. Your coworkers just might hear a few farts. That's all. You know, and they're probably used to it. You know, because listen, if you're watching this stream, you probably eat a lot of food because we talk about food a lot. So as soon as you hear the stream, you probably go get a DiGiorno pizza or something like that. Right? So you're probably farting at work anyway. So it's not like it's anything new. You know what I'm saying? Crypto Shock. John wants to be adopted too. John, I'll adopt you too. Come on, man. You just have to bring, if I adopt you, you just have to bring your sarcastic humor with you, man. Because you're not the same without your sarcastic humor, man. Dion said, bro, I'm always watching this while I'm at working. What are you guys doing where you can watch this at work? Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand. A lot of you guys do that, man. Like, I don't understand. Probably you guys a lot of working from home. And you're supposed to be on a call or something like that. And you're actually doing work. Instead, you're listening to this bozo. You know what I'm saying? Franco, Night Owl lyrics are cheesy as F. But Franco, all rap music lyrics are whack. Like, they're all horrible. They all just rap about the same shit. It's chicks, drugs, guns. It's all the same shit. Matt, what's going on, man? Jason, I do security and watch you at work. I mean, that's a job that you can just sit and watch at work, bro. You know what I'm saying, Jay? Like that, just make sure there's no one sneaking into the building you're watching, right? So right now you don't have to worry about it. But when the market gets hot, you're going to be glued to the screen. And then someone might sneak into your security building, man. So make sure you're paying attention. All right? Make sure you're paying attention when we're making that fiat. Jeez. Clem, what's going on, man? He said, I always watch this evening show at work. You watch the evening show at work? Oh, nice, dude. Nice, man. Just popping in and saying out today. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for stopping in, BRMC. Appreciate you, man. If you just stop in, you probably ain't going to miss much today. What I want to talk about today, just because there's really not too much going on. Again, Bitcoin seems to be in the short term, right? I just have like a range marked out. I mean, it's not even going to like the top or bottom of the range. We're just stuck to the middle of the range here. So short term, it's kind of gamble, right? You're gambling on the short term to see which direction it's going to go. Like this is just chop price action. It could go to 27. It can go retest 25K again. There isn't much here to give us a good direction. So kind of what I'm waiting for a short term is if this wants to spike down. Might look for a long if it wants to spike down to like 25K, take out this low and come back up. But for right now, I'm just kind of chilling because this price action is just, I mean, it's even, this is how it works, guys. We've seen this. We get 1 week of huge price action and then we get like 2 months of nothing. That's been the story of 2023, right? So we're back to, I mean, at least for the last 4 days here of Bitcoin being in a, what is this? I mean, we're talking a $400 range in the last 4 or 5 days. So we're back to chop, and we're back to waiting to see what this next move is ultimately going to be on the short term. You know, short term is kind of useless at the moment. Crypto Shock, what's up, buddy? Roasted garlic. Barry said BNB. We'll take a look at BNB because we've seen this multiple times for BNB. where it gets dangerously close to those lows, right? All right, let's go look at the daily and the 2-day chart because right now, you know, I'm hearing a lot of oversold talks, and I think sometimes oversold is an overused term, right? And oversold doesn't mean what you think it means. I think when someone says, okay, the daily's oversold or the 2 days oversold, we have to bounce from here, right? And I want to show you that you can bounce, but sometimes you can just kind of go sideways, reset the RSI to just go lower, right? And I'm not saying I think we're going to go lower. Right now, I'm kind of in this wait and see. You guys know, like my line in the sand is 25K. I think if you break 25K, we're going to see a bigger drop to the downside. 25K has been my invalidation point. We haven't broke that yet. But right now, I'm hearing a lot of talk of, the daily's oversold. Okay? The daily's oversold, the 2 days oversold. Guys, that's great, but it doesn't mean you're just going to bounce to the moon because it's oversold, right? And I want to show you a few times. So, a few times, right? So the daily, you guys can see the daily RSI is at 18. And the reason why I want to talk about this today is I'm seeing this all over YouTube and all over Twitter and all this stuff, right? It's just like we're taking the most basic indicator and saying, okay, it's oversold, so we're going to get a massive bounce. We could get a massive bounce, but it could just be a retrace, So, right here, right? So the daily's at an 18. Holy shit. We are scary. It's getting a little scary over here, fellas. 18. That's actually the lowest that we've seen that, right? I mean, that's lower than the FTX crash, which was at a 24. And that actually is lower than, it's actually lower than the June crash as well. So basically, I mean, this is the lowest the RSI has been. I mean, you have to go back to June was right around the same level, but before that, I mean, you're going back to January. But I mean, yeah, you're significantly low. But the thing is, right, while that has marked some lows before, right? So like November 2022, the FTX crash, daily got oversold, that marked a low, right? June of 2022, daily got oversold, that marked pretty close to the low. Right here, January 2022, you got oversold, that marked a low. It does mark lows sometimes, right? But if we go back to like 2019, right? Let's go back over here real quick and kind of look at what we're talking about. So right here, this was the local top in 2019. You could see right here so obviously right here, okay, we were in an uptrend, we kind of chopped sideways. We got that first initial big capitulation down, kind of similar to what we did now. And I think this actually kind of reminds me where we are now, actually. We got this big capitulation down right here. You can see that the daily RSI got oversold right here, right? September 2019. We got oversold. Holy shit. We got to get a massive bounce then. Well, what do? Right? And I'm just looking at the past. We kind of chopped sideways, right? We chopped sideways. We actually ended up getting a dump. Big bounce. It was a retrace, though. And then what did? We ended up coming a little bit lower. I guess my point with this is when the daily's oversold, it doesn't necessarily mean the low is in. It could be a decent short-term indicator, though. And it don't just trust oversold, because a lot of times, right, you'll see like over here, right, first capitulation down, but then what happened, right? You went significantly lower over here. It's not always the end-all, be-all, right, of a low. Now, we're going to look at the 2-day, too. The 2-day chart is even more important than the 1-day chart, guys. We're going to look at that, too. The 2-day chart, which we are oversold, and I think it's more useful than the daily. The 2-day, we just hit the oversold on that big dip, right? We actually haven't been oversold on the 2-day. You have to go back to the June low. Now, that one actually marked the low of that June dip. Actually marked this little low right here. And then we obviously got a decent bounce. I think what we need to watch for right now is, like, this is a time where you can see a bounce. But my big question is, and this is going to be my big question going forward in the short term, and this goes to a lot of you guys, because I know a lot of you guys care about what Bitcoin's next move is going to be. A lot of you guys like to trade. So we're going to be looking at what we could maybe expect in the short term. Long term, you guys know my take, right? On the big giant dip days, I'm looking to pick up BTC. If BTC wants to dip back below 25K again, that is fantastic buy opportunities right there. And I'm going to be DCAing anywhere below 25K if we get there. For the time being, let's see what we can do. So I guess when you get these little oversold things, right, what I'm going to be looking for is if we do get a bounce, right, that comes up, say the S&P starts bouncing, right? Woohoo, S&P starts bouncing. Woohoo, woohoo. I'm gonna be watching, and you might, this might sound crazy, right? Because you might be saying, okay, if we get a bounce up to 29K, you might be thinking we're all on. It's all juicy. We're going up to the moon. We've actually seen, like in this part of the cycle, Bitcoin actually get a big retrace back up to like the previous high before you dipped, and then actually curl back down. Like I said, we saw this back in 2019 right here. You see this where we had this sideways, we dumped, we got a big retrace back up to this little local high before we dumped, and then actually we had one more little move to the downside. So we have seen something like that before. So I guess what I want to see here is, you know, a lot of times these 2-day charts and oversold can give you a little bit of a bounce, but that doesn't necessarily mean the low is in. We're going to want to see Bitcoin, if it starts to move up, right? This is going to be the key area right here, like 29,000. If we can't clear that, obviously, well, then we're going to have all the head and shoulder guys come in, right? Left shoulder, right shoulder, head. You guys get the point, right? Going to have all the pattern guys coming in. Head and shoulders, we're going lower. I can already see it now. The head and shoulders fellas are coming in. Not the shampoo. Actually, is that head and shoulders shampoo? Yeah, it is. Head and shoulders. But you have all the head and shoulders guys come in, right? So that's kind of what I'm watching the short term. And I guess if we go back to the bull market support band, which is obviously what I watch a lot of the times, that's up here at like 28.4, which is slightly lower than that level. But on any type of bounce, that's going to be the big thing, is if we do see a bounce on the high time frames, we're going to want to see weekly closes back above that bull market support band. I think as long as Bitcoin's below the bull market support band in the short term, you have to remain kind of neutral. You know, and I've always said this, above the bull market support band, we're looking very, very good. Below it, you know, you got to be a little bit skeptical, right? Not saying, okay, if you're in this for the long term, you shouldn't be DCAing at, low prices. I am, right? It is what it is. But I think if you're trading the market and you're looking to like, okay, I'm selling this, buying this. If you're below the bull market support band, historically, that's been kind of like, you got to be a little bit iffy, right? You got to be a little bit iffy here. So, like I said, bearish sentiment. We got the big fear in the market. 37 on the fear and greed index. There's a lot of fear on that dip that we just had. Would be a perfect time to sort of have a little bit of a retrace, get everyone bullish again, right? Everyone who's not buying the low now, get them to FOMO in, take even more liquidity just to bring it down, right? We've seen that many, many times. So that's what I'm going to be watching, is any type of retrace, because people ain't buying anything right now. It's too scary, right? But at any type of green candle that comes in, all of a sudden you feel more comfy and you want to buy. So what happens is, if Bitcoin gets a little bit of a bounce here, test the bull market support band, that's where everyone's going to FOMO in. Right there, right? And that's going to be the test whether Bitcoin wants to continue higher, or if it's just a retest to continue down, right? So that's kind of what I'm watching for in the short term. Once again, 25K and sort of the bigger time frames, 25K, which is the previous highs, which was the retest we had here. That's the level I'm watching. If we break 25K, I've told you guys, and I've said this even when we were at the highs, 25K is my invalidation point. If we break 25K, I'm looking for Bitcoin to come all the way back down and test this trend line at the very, very least, because that's historically what it's done. So we got to watch that level. Okay, we're holding above it now, so it's all good. But if we do break that, I'm looking for a move back down to the trend line right now is at like 22K. But we can see wicks below, like the COVID crash, right? The COVID crash right here. We closed at the level here, but we did see wicks below the trend line. So that's what I'm watching for. And if we did see a wick down to this trend line, below the trend line, anything below that trend line is like a gold mine in there, right? Like that's going to be max fear. That's going to be people panicking like crazy if that happens, right? And I'm looking this, like if you get something like this in here, right, on any type of wick, historically, that is a fantastic area. And no one's going to want to buy right there, right? At 31K, it's, oh, if Bitcoin goes back down to 20K, I'm going to buy a shitload. But when it actually happens, do people do it? No. Because you're scared when it actually happens. When it's high, you're feeling confident. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna buy so much if it goes back down there. It's going to double bottom. I'm going to buy so much. But when it actually does, it's a ghost town. No one's to be found, right? So that's what I'm watching for. 25K, we break that. I'm looking for a wick back down to this this trend line, kind of like the COVID crash, where it's like that ultimate scare and crazy shit, and everyone's predicting these horrible things. That's kind of what I'm watching for. In the short term, like we said, you have some oversold, quote unquote, oversold conditions, right? Which I think are kind of memes a little bit. But a lot of times, if you do get a 2-day oversold, you do get a retracement. So just be careful on that retracement, right? If you're going to be looking at something, as I always say, be buying supports. Don't be, because what happens is a lot of times is you don't want to buy something at support because it's scary. As soon as you see some green candles come up and things start pumping 5-10%, that's when you want to get in because you're feeling more confident. And I'm telling you, as soon as you buy, it's probably going to be the local top. That's what happens every single time if you FOMO. So just be careful on any type of retraces. That's all I'm saying. If you're going to be looking to long or buy some spot, do it at support levels, right? Don't be waiting for a bounce to do it because you're going to get yourself caught in a bad situation, right? But that's that. We could talk about some other stuff, but let me read the chat. Let's see. Drew! What's up? What's going on, buddy? What's going on, buddy? Drew said 21K, bro. Yeah, that's what this trend line is. You know, we're still holding this 25K level. So like I said, I want to stay relatively neutral for like all the short-term fellows out there. Like I said, if we do start closing a weekly below that 25K level, I would expect it to be a pretty fast move down to this trend line. Which, like we said, if we went straight down this week, this trend line actually comes in at 21,450 if we went straight down this week. Which, in any wicks below, I mean, if you look at this, like, this trend line basically just like shows you all the significant bounces that Bitcoin's had since 2017, right? This level here, 2 bounces in 2018, COVID crash, close low, right? 2 bounces last year, which marked the low. And then if we did see another move down, that would be very similar to this cycle where we saw 1 hit to the trend line, COVID crash, 2nd hit to the trend line, and that ended up marking the low when there was max fear and max boredom in the market, right? So that would match it up pretty perfectly. Once again, I think this is all we're gonna look. In my opinion, we're gonna look back at all this, and it's gonna be irrelevant shit. You know, the difference. You know, I really do think we're looking back and say, okay, we're fighting whether Bitcoin's gonna be at 26 or 22K. I think it's gonna be somewhat irrelevant. But if you're looking at to maximize the buys, I think this trend line, and kind of how I'm looking at it is, I think we tap this trend line any way we look at it. Whether we go sideways into the trend line or we dump into the trend line. I think we hit this in some way. If we just went sideways, we would hit this like right at the halving, right? Which is funny. We would hit this right at the halving if we went sideways. If we dumped, we would hit it now. But yeah, it'll be interesting, man. It'll be very, very, very interesting to see. Short term, this looks like it wants to come a little bit down again, which is fine. Let me go to the 4-hour. Yeah, because we only have 1 hit to the low, right? Normally in these still short-term things, we want to see a 2nd hit to the low. Maybe we'll catch a little price action this morning. Let's see what we got, man. Let's see what we got. Maybe we'll get a little price action this morning, fellas. Maybe I'm hoping for a little bit too much, but asking for any type of price action lately has just been, you're basically just praying to the gods that you're going to get something. Chewy said, let's go straight down, get it over with. Oh, that's what I would prefer that too. Listen, I prefer, like my style, I prefer big, scary capitulations rather than boring slow bleed. I cannot stand slow bleed. It is so obnoxious. Because you might have a support level panned out, but then if it slow bleeds, you have to be so patient. Like the big capitulations are so much better because you just instantly go down there. You get it brings more fear in the market, and you, honestly, I feel more confident in the big capitulations than the slow bleed. The slow bleeds sometimes kind of confuse me. They do, because they'll be like, okay, you'll hit a support level, but you're slow bleeding into it. You don't see like that max capitulation wick that gets you like confident, and then you don't know whether it's going to bounce there. The big capitulations, a lot of times, and I'm talking about the ones with like this 2018 one, or this COVID crash one, or this FTX one, right? Those ones, or the Luna one, you feel more confident in those ones because you'll also see the sentiment, which the sentiment will just be dog shit. Right now, I actually don't think the sentiment's bored. I don't think the sentiment is scared right now. I think people are just bored. I don't sense scared. What do you guys think? Do you guys sense more boredom or scaredom? I sense boredom. Now, how I feel, I'm bored. I don't like, so I don't like to like describe it with myself, because I've been through a few of these times before, and honestly, I don't really even get really scared on these big capitulations anymore. But like what I sense on Twitter and Discord and stuff like that is just boredom, you know, like not really fear. But I think if we did see something like this, and this is totally just hypothetical, guys, I just want to set you up for the situations that we've seen in the past. If we do see something like this, you're gonna see the fear. But you know, any type of retest of in this like area here, I think would be set you up for a very, very good opportunity. I know a lot of people have been looking for that, so we'll see, man. Peeps clearly scared everywhere. You think so, Derek? I actually don't sense that, man. I don't sense that, man. She's time capitulation is upon us. Oh, we've been in time capitulation, man. If you look at Bitcoin, man, I mean, it hasn't really moved since March. I mean, we've been in 6 months of time capitulation here, right? 6 months of boring price action when you really think about it. It's been really 2 weeks of moves and then 5.5 months of nothing, pretty much. That's what it's been. It's been brutal, dude. I feel that boredom makes me feel scared. You think so, CS? Boredom just makes me feel like I don't even want to look at the chart. Like it seems like monotonous to look at the chart and pointless to look at the chart, right? But yeah. You know what the one thing that kind of scares me is, and it takes a few times to learn this stuff. And when it happens, you don't want to believe it. What scares me is when meme coins start pumping. We haven't seen that yet, though. We saw that back in May, but we haven't seen that in a while when the meme coins start pumping, bro. Because all right, last time I didn't want to believe it, right? It was a local top when meme coins started pumping, but last May, it was the local top when meme coins started pumping, right? So if we start seeing any type of meme coin action, I think I've seen enough of those to know that any type of meme coin rally where all of them start pumping is a local top. I think that's the one thing that'll scare me, man. Let's see. Jordan, is this chart on log? Yeah, it's on log scale, bro. It's on log scale, man. Let's see. Marcellus said, I just doubled my BTC holding. Who's scared? Marcellus, I don't think anyone's really scared, you know? Like I said. Your mom said, I need a good pump. Where's Becker? Becker is, I don't know where Becker is, man. Becker, like a few months ago, was like, yeah, buy these gaming tokens, bro. And he just disappeared off the top there. All right, let's talk about ETH. Ethereum, so it still has this structure on ETH. ETH still has this weekly structure, right? And if you actually look at where it wicked, if you look at the June low, the November low, so this was the first low after the Luna collapse, right? Take a look at this. This was the Luna collapse for Ethereum, right here. This was the FTX crash for Ethereum right here. And listen, trend lines are meant to be broken at some point, but they're useful in some type of way, right? So FTX or Luna collapse, FTX collapse, right? Last week on that capitulation down, we actually did see us tap that trend line perfectly, right? So we've seen massive fear in this type of structure, right? Where we're seeing kind of these higher lows, same resistance on the top side. The structure is still intact. It's just a matter of, what are we going to do next? Like, we have to watch this very, very carefully. Now, just understand, like in the short term, that we still have these giant wicks on a lot of these altcoins. So in the immediate short term, it wouldn't surprise me if we actually just come and suck up these wicks, just so we don't have to worry about them anymore. Kind of like, you see what we did over here? You see how we had this big capitulation FTX crash? We had the big wick. We actually had a nice candle that got bought up. But then you see the next 3 weeks how we kind of just slow bled down, took that wick, right? Ended up holding the low again. Very similar over here. See how we had this wick? But then we had all this price action to fill in that wick over here. It wouldn't surprise me if in the next couple weeks, right, or maybe days, weeks, this could happen soon, who knows, if we fill in this wick with price action right here, where we kind of just sit here for a while. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Big move down, we fill in this wick, and we kind of do what we need to do. Now, if we kind of what I want to watch for here, very, very carefully here, is, like I said, you can look at this as an M formation. This is a key. Obviously, we can mark this off. This is kind of like the 25K level for Bitcoin right here, where, okay, wicks below this level are fine, right? Wicks below this level are fine. Any type of closure below this level ain't looking too pretty, right? So we want to hold above 1620. Shout out to 1620. Year of the Pilgrims, baby. Year of the Pilgrims, bro. We want to hold above this level. That's like the 25K level for BTC, right? So if this starts going, listen, this whole year, you guys know I'm not an Ethereum maxi, but L1s, I'm Ethereum maxi. This whole year, it's pissed me off. It's kind of pissed me off, actually, because I wanted to have been accumulating Ethereum this whole year. I just haven't wanted to this high, and it's been annoying, right? But, once again, if I get an opportunity where Ethereum starts moving down, I finally will have an opportunity to be scooping up some Ethereum again. Because I haven't really done it since, a while. It's been a long time since I bought any Ethereum. Just because it's been all the way up here since February, right? So if this wants to start moving down again, that's going to be a good opportunity in there. But once again, this level right here, 1620, and any type of weekly close is going to be big. Something tells me we're probably just going to be in here for a while before we either get a little bit of a retracement bounce or this sort of just oh, okay, boop, boop, and we dump. So that's the big level on ETH. But as of right now, the structure is still intact. These higher lows have marked lows. It's just a matter of what's the next damn move. It's going to be key. It's going to be key, man. Rodney! Let's see. I didn't take a 3-month break just so I can get new content. Should have took 4 months. Rodney, anyone you watch right now ain't going to give you anything new. I'm going to be honest with you. No one you watch right now is going to give you anything new, man. Right? And to be honest, Rodney, you've been in this game long enough, Rodney. Okay? You've been in this game long enough, Rodney. To be honest, and I always like to say this, if you guys want to watch me because, you guys just like sitting here and watching me talk, that's cool. I'll be honest with you guys. You don't have to really watch anyone, guys. You don't have to watch anyone. I'm telling you, bring up TradingView, overlay the 2 previous cycles over this cycle, and just use that chart to see what you think is going to happen next, right? You don't need, like, we make this super, super difficult. People make this like this most difficult thing in the world. Guys, when you're in a little range at the lows, that's when you should be accumulating. When you're mooning up and people are euphoric, DCA out, it's really not that hard. You know what I mean? You just gotta have patience. And why do we watch YouTube videos sometimes? Because we don't have patience. We want to know what's gonna happen tomorrow. In reality, does what happened tomorrow really gonna change what you do? No. If I told you Bitcoin's gonna go to 22K tomorrow, right? It's probably not gonna change what you do, right? You're probably just gonna say, okay, if it goes to 22K, I'll buy some, right? It's probably all you're gonna do. It's not really gonna change anything, you know? If I told you Bitcoin's gonna go to 30K tomorrow, is it really gonna change anything you're gonna do? No. Most of you guys ain't selling at 30K anyways. You wanna sell higher, right? It doesn't really matter what happens in the short term, right? And I always like to say, the people who care about what happens in the short term, what I've seen is those typically aren't the people who, you know, last in this type of market. You just got to be able to just DCA at low prices and just wait it out, right? That's it. That's really, if people will say this time's different, this time's different, this time's different, okay. But if you look at where Bitcoin is, it's right in the same damn spot that it was in 2019 at this exact same week. You know, it's right at the exact same spot. So what about this time is different? Nothing, right? Nothing until this point, but it's always different. And as I always like to say, you just got to wait it out, right? Just wait it out. Don't let your patience get to you, man. Let's see. Mike said, Jordan 2021, don't short the best performing asset. Jordan 2023, don't watch me. I'm just being honest, man. Most people won't tell you that, man. Like I said, if you just like watching me for, you know, me talking about the markets and my thoughts are going to be very basic. They're going to be very basic. I'm going to be buying big capitulations, and I'm going to be accumulating in 2023. And I'm going to be looking to sell when everyone starts talking about crypto again. It really ain't that difficult. It's not. Let's see. I've been BSing with you for 19 months. Crazy. Facts, Rodney. Where you been, bro? Hope you've been doing good. Shout out to Hamilton with the super chat, by the way. Shout out to my guy, Hamilton. He's always in here swinging it. All right. Look at Bitcoin, guys. We're doing nothing. Nothing. What's stock markets doing? What's the little old stock markets doing, man? Nothing. Oh, you just opened 4 minutes ago. So, yeah. So futures, NASDAQ's up 0.7%. S&P's up 0.4%. And the Russell, actually, yeah, it's the Russell. Russell's up 0.4%. Dollar's up 0.2%. I think a lot of the fear this week, guys, is, I don't know if you guys probably know this, but Jerome Powell speaking this week at Jackson Hole. So there's a lot of people that are scared of that because last year, if you guys didn't know about the last year that Powell was at Jackson Hole, that's when he started getting very bearish and basically the market started shitting the bed. So there's a lot of fear in the market with what Powell's going to say at Jackson Hole. Why? I don't know. I think it's just because last year he was bearish at Jackson Hole. But like I said, we've been through a whole year of this bullshit. So we'll see. He's going to be there this week. NVIDIA earnings are Friday. People are a lot scared because you know NVIDIA is the king company of AI. So as far as the stock market goes, a lot of the tech stocks have mooned because of AI. But if NVIDIA doesn't have good earnings, then you might see the AI stocks drop. There's also a lot of fear with that. That's on Friday or Thursday. Thursday or Friday is NVIDIA earnings. What else is the fear? This is a lot of fear right now. Binance. We didn't talk about Binance yet today. BNB. This is the one that I actually like. Binance is the one thing. All the other FUD is FUD. Binance is the one thing I actually think has general implications, like big implications on Bitcoin. Because we know that Binance owns a lot of effing Bitcoin. A lot of effing Bitcoin. They're one of the biggest holders of Bitcoin. And we know that they've been defending this support level for BNB like crazy, because supposedly there's a margin call. If BNB goes under a certain price, they're going to be margin called, which is going to force them to sell Bitcoin to pay that, to hold BNB up. It's not a good situation, right? This is the one FUD that I actually don't like. Like, this is like a black swan FUD. This one right here. So we got to watch this. We got to freaking watch this. Now, you can see what it's doing right now. It is on the verge of just death. You know what I mean? So we got to watch this. Nothing else really bothers me. Recession, inflation. I think all this stuff is a little bit overhyped in my personal opinion. But the BNB stuff, I do think is something we have to pay attention to. And this could be the type of thing where if BNB starts falling here, that could be the thing that gets you that final Bitcoin capitulation. Because there's a lot of rumors that these big players, there's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that you're getting these BlackRocks, Valkyries, ARKs, all these huge companies, the biggest companies in the world, that all of a sudden want to do business in Bitcoin, right? There's a lot of rumors that they want to take Binance out beforehand, because we know Binance kind of controls the market in a certain way. They want to take Binance out before they get into the market. And what better way to collapse the Bitcoin price so they can buy Bitcoin cheaper while also taking out their biggest competitor, right? It makes sense. It does make sense. So we'll see. Like, this is the one thing that kind of keeps me up at night, is the whole Binance shit. So we'll see if this starts moving down, which you guys can see it is. That's something we have to pay attention to, right? But as we've seen with FTX, right? When FTX went down, obviously Binance is significantly bigger than FTX, very much bigger. But as we saw with FTX, if something like that does happen, a lot of the times that those big things, those big marking moments in the market do mark lows. Just remember, if something like that does happen, I'm not trying to spread FUD, and I'm just trying to set you up for possibilities. I don't want you guys to panic if something like that does happen, because a lot of times that can mark lows, right? As we saw with FTX. FTX collapses, everyone's talking about contagion and significantly lower prices, and it's over, and that actually marked the bottom, right? So just remember that if something like that does happen. And that would be the thing where I would look for Bitcoin to come into this white box and test this trend line, if that did happen. And that would be that capitulation, that would mark the low, and would be the capitulation of a lifetime, in my personal opinion. Where that's where you take full advantage right there. So obviously, like I said, not trying to spread FUD and not saying that anything like that's going to happen. Just be prepared for it, is all I'm saying. Drew said they won't take down CZ. I want to believe you, Drew. The one thing that I think they can take down CZ. I think they certainly can. We're talking about these asset managers with trillions of dollars. Like, they can. Like, that's a drop in the bucket to them. They can if they wanted to. It's just, will they want? Like, is that the general plan? I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. Hamilton said, "Yo, boss, what's that spray noise in the background?" Oh, that's Maj working on her jewelry over here. She's doing a fantastic. She's going, and she's not doing the thing with the. Yeah, she's working on her jewelry over here. Let's see, what is BTC doing? It's chilling. It's just chilling right now. It's just chilling right now. Probably have some type of like symmetrical triangle. Like, if you want to draw one of these triangles, certainly can. But yeah, all my eyes on the altcoin market right now is, we've talked about many of these L1s. I think Those are kind of like the story of the market. And we've talked about, say, like Cardano. I think Cardano has one more push down. You know, a lot of these, I'm looking for something like this. A break of the lows, ultimate scared, and then a retrace back up like this. Something along those lines. Like Cardano, AVAX. I'm kind of looking for... AVAX is already kind of doing it here. But AVAX, I'm looking for... See, it's already kind of doing it. Remember we were talking about AVAX up here. We're kind of looking for a break of these lows. I want to smack these lows, get everyone scared, and then kind of do something like this and come back up. A lot of these are kind of showing the same thing. We can go polka dot, right? I think the best thing here to do, and why does this usually happen? Because when you break support, that's when people start going nuts. Just like when you break resistance, you get retail going nuts. Oh, we broke out. But a lot of times what happens when you break a resistance, you end up just going, you know, a little bit higher. Retail FOMOs into the breakout, you dump back down. It's kind of like support, right? You break support, you go a little bit lower. People are like, oh my God, we broke support, I'm out. Right? And then it goes right back up. So that's why I'm kind of looking at for a lot of these top L1s is kind of this deviation low down here. And I think that would kind of coincide with everything. That's like we just looked at Binance. Not going to say it's going to happen today, right? But like you kind of seeing that right now with Binance, right? Actually, right at this moment. So we shall see, fellas. Crypto Chris said bears desperate for 15K, so they go after CZ Binance. Yeah, I mean, 15K would be. And I've said this, like, to go back down to 15K, that's a big drop from here, right? I'm not going to say anything's impossible because in crypto, nothing is impossible. Nothing's impossible, man. Like, I've been here through the COVID crash. I thought that would be impossible. You know, at the time, Bitcoin was, you know, getting a nice rally. It was back up to like 10K. It was right before the halving. We were like, okay, we're at the halving. It's all good. And then what happened? 1 week later, COVID gets announced. Boom! Bitcoin drops from 10K to 3K in 2 weeks. Boom. So I've seen crazy shit happen before. So I will never say anything is impossible. That's why I think it's important to always have some, like, DCAing is cool, but always keep some dry powder just in case there's like this massive scenario where you can take advantage of, you know, because nothing is impossible in this market. It's when you think you're safe and then something happens, and then same thing to the upside, right? Like when you think everything is over, that's when stuff bounces, right? So just know, like, I've seen crazy shit before. I would never say anything's impossible. Am I selling everything and hoping for 15K? Absolutely not. But I wouldn't say 15K is impossible because I've seen crazy shit before. Very, very crazy shit. And to be honest, all of 2022 was crazy shit. You know, like this whole year was crazy shit. This whole downtrend, it was just collapse after collapse after collapse after collapse. So I would never say anything is impossible. You know what I mean? Breaking news. Jordan said we're going to zero. Oh, man. Exactly, Crypto Beehive. I learned my lesson after eating the sock. But to be fair, right? I said I didn't think Bitcoin was going to go over 20K. To be fair, it was really only under 20K, like, for weekly closes. Because I did say a weekly close under 20K. It was really only under 20K weekly closes. Like, okay, it was like 19.5 here. It was like 2 months, all right? Give me a break. But yes, it did go under 20K. And I had to eat a sock. So, it is what it is. But I was a man of my word. I ate the sock. Knucklebuster. What's up, buddy? How you doing, my friend? Philly, what's going on, bro? Philly and Knucklebuster came in at the same time? Shout out to you guys, man. Your mom said if lockdowns come back, market gonna drop again. Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, dude, there isn't just an unlimited amount of FUD right now. Anything you can think of, there's FUD. You know, like I said, inflation going back up, recession. You know, you got now there's like the new COVID lockdown FUD. Now there's climate change FUD. There's Binance FUD. You can go down the freaking list. You know, like there's just there's the China economy, Evergrande. There's just an unlimited amount. And I'm probably forgetting like 18 things. You know, why 18? I don't know, but I'm forgetting 18 things. And yeah. Joey said, Jordan, what is your eat a sock price for this cycle? I don't got an eat a sock. No more eat a sock, man. What I've learned about this market is nothing is impossible. Upside or downside. Nothing is impossible. I've seen upside moves when everyone's super, super bearish. And I've seen downside moves when everyone's super, super bullish. Nothing's impossible. You know? Like if you told me a year from now Bitcoin will be at 150K, I would not be surprised. And if you also told me a year from now Bitcoin would be at 5K, I also wouldn't be surprised. Like nothing surprises me in this market. Because it's such a volatile, speculative asset, you know? Yeah, I am. 99 problems, but FUD ain't one. True, Mason. True, dude. All right. Market, you got the dollar still shooting up here. Dollar's at the 786 fib. If it breaks through that, this one's, I mean, you're going to make a new local high. So the dollar's looking pretty bullish. You say stocks are up, but I mean, very, very barely. Gold is down. And Bitcoin is flat. And that's pretty much the market right now, fellas. That's pretty much the market right now, my fellas. So we'll see what we get today. We'll see what we get today. The thing to keep an eye on, I would say, is Binance. You're going to have a lot of people talking about it on Twitter. They've already been talking about it on Twitter. This is the talk right now, is this chart right here. And I'm not going to bring up the comparison to the FTX chart, but it is a very, very similar chart. And we talked about that months ago. I think you guys remember that. When we had the FTX chart and the BNB chart, almost the exact same thing. Once again, everyone's going to be talking about this shit. Just know that, like, something like this, it would be very, very bad in the short term, but ultimately ends, you know, as a reasonably actually good thing in the market when you get a big player capitulate. But in the meantime, we kind of just wait. We kind of just wait, man. For Hoopty, where you going, bro? He said CZ continued manipulating the market. Crypto boys, I don't know if people were like, actually, and I've said this, I actually think CZ is a good guy. But what's the problem in the world is a hive mind, right? So, and I've always said this, even if CZ and Binance are good, which I actually do think that. I don't think they're doing anything wrong. Even if they're good, and the problem is, if every country starts not wanting them in their country, how does Binance make money? They make money off of fees, right? Of basically users using their exchange and having fees. But the problem is that if they don't got any users, how are they going to make effing money, right? Especially if no one wants to keep their money on their exchange because everyone's afraid of them going down. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy where if no one wants to use it, well, how is it going to be the biggest exchange if all of a sudden no one wants to use it, right? That's the one problem that with BNB. It's not even, I don't even think it's about CZ. It's just, that's just the reality of the situation. And it is what it is. RSI is coming down. It is, man. That's why you don't fully trust the RSI, like we talked about today. It's why you don't fully trust the RSI, because it's when you pull up TradingView for the first time as a noob, the RSI is on the chart. You know what I mean? The RSI is on the damn chart. But you know what we did say is, when it does get this low, you could usually see one of two things. You do see a retrace, or you see chop sideways to let it reset. If it does dump from here, it's just showing big weakness in the market. So we'll keep an eye on that, fellas. Later, Skillful. Later, bro. Let's see. All right, guys. I'm going to head out for the day. Good stream today. Like I said, we talked about pretty much everything we need to talk about. Watch 25, you know, I would say more like 24.8 is the big level to watch for Bitcoin going forward. And if that does break, like I said, we definitely could come test this trend line. So just have stuff ready, you know, have stuff ready in case something like that happens. If it doesn't, great. We got our hodl bags. We can do our thing and continue just to do what we've been talking about this year. And that's what I'm doing. It's just as prices get low, aka they come to major support levels, I'm just looking to add, right? I'm not adding on uptrends. That's where you get effed. Don't add on uptrends. We add on support levels, right? So if we get Bitcoin to crash, quote unquote, to, you know, this is support level here at 21K, probably take a little bit of a dip there. And then if you see like anything below that, historically that's like a COVID crash type scenario where, you know, obviously you guys know what happened after that. Big capitulation. And honestly, I've sort of said, like, we all knew, the last thing I want to say is, we all knew that 2023, we weren't going to get a bull market in 2023. We all knew that, right? So it doesn't really, I've always said this, it doesn't matter where the prices are this year. We all knew if it's going to play out like it has in the past, the 4-year cycle, next year was going to be the start of the true bull run, right? Where the one that you're looking for. You guys ain't looking for a 2x. The one that you're really looking for. We all knew that 2024 was going to be the year of the start of that, right? So it shouldn't really matter where prices are. So just think about it that way. You guys probably weren't going to be selling in 2023 anyways. Let's be honest. So just look at anything down as opportunities, and that's all you can do, right? Anyways, I'm out of here. Peace. Catch you guys later. Have a fantastic day. It looks like it's going to be a nice day today. So enjoy the nice day. It was freezing this morning, so hopefully it means it's kind of cool today. A nice cool day would be fantastic today. See you guys. Peace. Stay farting. Stay eating Chipotle. And stay eating microwave ribs. Peace.